Okay, today is May the 2nd, 2016, and at 11 p.m. in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a temperature of 61 degrees. The relative humidity is 59%. The dew point is 47 degrees, and the barometric pressure is 1,014 millibar, or 29.97 inches. We're watching the northeast Pacific water vapor loop, and we have a developing gale. This is an upper level low here, shown on the pressure charts, the 500 and the 300 millibar. This is forecast to move in and maybe deliver some rain, but we have a developing gale right in this area right here. And what do we see but a transmitter right on top of that opportunity right there? So this transmitter right there is going to counteract the development of this gale force system right here. All right, and the core pressure, this is nothing serious. In fact, we can just take a quick look at the surface analysis map. We can see that uh, this is a 1,015 millibar low right here. They're indicating this is a low pressure with 1,015 millibar. Um, over here we have 1,033 millibar. This entire center of this high pressure center has moved away from the west coast, so we have an opportunity for this cold front to move in. And we also have a low pressure right here off the just right around the Bay Area, and a trough shown. All right, so it's a very iffy if we're going to get any rain. I kind of don't think we're going to have any rain. I did see some very light chemtrails in the skies over South Los Angeles today. But over the mountains, we had beautiful cumulus natural clouds. But later in the day, you had to look very carefully. We did see the jets leaving these trails. Now, actually, yesterday, late in the afternoon, I was observing, coming back from the desert, I was observing these jets flying high, leaving very short dissipating trails. And also this morning, I noticed the same thing out over the looking west. And but they were not leaving any sort of visible trails after they flew by. So, but I always keep an eye on that because usually the next day we see some visible trails, and so today I did see exactly that. Some not heavy trailing, but just enough to catch my eye. There was 3 or 4 trails over South Los Angeles that caught my eye as I was out on the road today. So again, we do have an opportunity. They've shifted this high out into the west, to the west. It's further west away from the coastline right here of the U.S. So we have lower pressure right off the west coast, and that will allow some things to happen. But still, we have 1,014 millibar and 1,016 millibar right through this isobar right here. So we will have to wait and see what they give us. We have some unstable air all through this area. And let's go back to the maps real quick. We can see that this is moving right towards the west coast. And what we have here is a low pressure that's been completely squashed out. We can see a transmitter right there, just wiping that out. There's really nothing left. Now, yesterday we had 2 upper level lows that were positioned right through here, and those are gone. So this transmitter has right there has wiped out that low pressure system. Let's take a look at the rainbow map. We can see the moisture field right here moving towards California and Oregon. If we go back to the water vapor map, we can see the effect that this transmitter has had. It's completely disrupted the opportunity for this moisture field to feed that system. We have a transmitter right down on all through this area. Actually, there's one on the core, and then we see another thing right here. This semicircle is boring a hole right through the moisture field. We also see the chemtrails right along there. There's about a dozen of them towards the end of the loop, right through there. And the chemtrails are desiccants. They lower the atmosphere. They lower the humidity, the relative humidity in the atmosphere, and cause an upper a hot air layer over these over the moisture field, and that causes problems for rain precipitation. So this is an effort to weaken and weaken this moisture field as it moves along. We can see these chemtrails all through here, all the way through that entire moisture flow. All right, here's the jet stream. We can see that disruption where they have that transmitter right here. That is completely disrupted this moisture flow as it moves right towards, actually it's spinning and moving up towards Canada, and that's causing a problem. Okay, so here's the western U.S. water vapor map, and we can see there's a transmitter right here, not only stopping this moisture flow, but also preventing this one area from spooling up. This is indicated as a developing gale right in this area. This wants to spin counterclockwise. Also notice the low pressure over here has been completely squashed. In a 7.5 hour loop, we can see that all these thunderstorms right over Utah, Arizona, and Nevada have been completely decimated by that heat. And we can see at the end of this loop, there's just nothing left. Okay, so it's a 50-50 chance for rain. I'm going to forecast. We should expect to see chemtrail activity as this moves in. That's what I'm going to say is going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we continue to have nice cumulus clouds and blue skies and a lot of rain, but we know the pattern, and we saw this map. We can see that this high is shifted out to the west, so we're going to wait and see what they give us. Here's that developing gale. It has a transmitter right on it. This is moving right towards the west coast. There's a low right there. We saw that. Okay, let's take a look at the, this is the sea level pressure analysis. We can see the same picture here. There's the high has moved out to the west, and we have somewhat of a path for some weather to move in. This frontal system should move in. There's a low indicated over here, 1,012 millibar. We have a high over here. All right, let's look next at the 500 millibar. There's a high pressure up here over the northwest, winding this jet stream flow around. And then we have this trough here, which is supposed to move in. We'll see what happens. Here's the 300 millibar. We can see a couple of ridges here. And we have that high there. There's another low out over here. And still there's a low indicated here. But this is being squashed. All right, let's look next at the SSEC geostationary water vapor map. And see if we can see some of these aerosols being sprayed. And we can see those pretty well right out over here. This is where they're spraying all through here. Now, if anyone out there has some of the basic weather instruments, a barometer, a temperature, humidity, relative humidity, dew point meter, you can observe what these chemtrails do when they spray over your area. Number one is that the relative humidity drops significantly. That's the important thing to note, is that, and also the fact that they spray usually nearly all the time when a moisture field is about to move in. So the pattern, the important thing is that they spray when these opportunities move in. We have a rain opportunity here. We can see that frontal system moving in, and we see the jets out spraying at this exact time. So we have a timing problem here. We have a timing piece of evidence, and we also observe that the relative humidity drops. And those are some key indicators that things are amiss. Something's wrong. You know, when you have an approaching frontal system, the relative humidity should rise, not drop. That's for openers. And the barometric pressure should drop as well. And a lot of times we see the barometric pressure rise, and that is because we have these transmitters focusing descending air, heat, on top of the core. And as the whole thing moves onshore, as we've seen, uh, either moving in off the Pacific or down through as a slider through the state, we'll notice that the pressure on the barometer goes up, and that is because of the transmitter as it moves through the area, the high pressure. Okay, so this is a system that's going to just move in right off the coast, off the Pacific Ocean. All right, next let's take a quick look at the MODIS Today map. Mostly we see brilliant natural clouds, this brilliant white. These are the cumulus clouds all over the mountains. And LA, Los Angeles is right here. Okay. As we pan around a little bit, we can see a lot of natural clouds around in the area. Now, in the afternoon, I did see a few chemtrails over South Los Angeles, which is right in this area here, more or less. We saw some trails laid out through here. We're up in this area, right up against the foothills. Okay. Now, as we pan around, we see some interesting things here. This is a suspect. Not sure if this is chemtrail mix or if these thunderheads were targeted with microwave. We do see some interesting features right nearby some of these thunderheads. When these rise, sometimes we'll see them collapse, and that means that they've been probably hit with microwave. So keep an eye on the thunderheads. If you see them, watch them rise up. And if you see a lot of steam and you see the head of that thunderhead collapse down and the whole thing just pancakes, you may have just witnessed a microwave attack. Now notice over here in this area, this is a big thunderhead, and same with this one here. But look over here, you see what looks like a lot of steam. And this is what we see off in the ocean a lot, is when these are hit, they get superheated. They target the center with a microwave, and they superheat that, and we end up getting a lot of steam. All right. Okay, so that's the summary, and we will go ahead and do another update tomorrow.